Oh, so we're doing 3 videos, so I have 3 shirts. Do I want this shirt to be the most important? Hi, welcome back. I am Dr. Katie Brzezowski. I am a therapist and I own Speakeasy, Psychotherapy, and Counseling. Today I'm going to react to a Reddit post that I saw that says, therapy is completely useless for most men. The person says, most men who seek out therapy have real, tangible problems that we are looking for the solution to. We don't want a shoulder to cry on. We don't want to vent. We have identified a problem and desire to fix it. We need our circumstances to improve, and no amount of talking about our problems will ever fix them. And before anybody gets their panties in a twist, yes, I've been to therapy before. Multiple therapists, as a matter of fact. Sorry, I am talking from first-hand experience when I tell you that
the kind of advice given in therapy is not designed with men in mind.
Okay, wait, get comfortable now for this. The idea that therapy, one, is created not with men in mind, but I'm guessing what women in mind, this whole thing is crazy. I'm trying to, let me try to focus on this. So first he says that he needs his circumstances to improve and no amount of talking about our problems will ever fix them. I don't agree with that, but I do agree that many of our circumstances in our lives, they're out of our control, right? You know, if the job market is bad, that isn't in our control. That isn't something going to therapy is going to fix. It's not going to fix the job market, right? But what therapy can do is maybe you've applied for 100 jobs. Maybe you're not getting interviews or not getting the job, or maybe you're in a field that you don't really want to be in, or that you just fell in, or, you know, all of those things. I think really what therapy could help with is really figuring out, are you doing the thing that you want to be doing or should be doing or could be doing? What is the barrier? Maybe you're not really great in interviews because you don't have a lot of confidence. That's something therapy can help with. Maybe you only apply for jobs that you think you are 100% qualified for. And if you're missing even one of the qualifications listed, you don't apply. Well, that's very rigid thinking, which that can really mess up your options just in life in general. So there's a lot of reasons why even talking about a fixed problem can be helpful, because a lot of it is the circumstance, and some circumstances are just terrible, in which case you could use therapy to process your emotions about that. But if there's other problems that you're having, like let's say your kids aren't listening to you, or you feel like you're not a good father, or you're never home, or something like that, I mean, that is all stuff we can work with. If you're saying, well,
The fixed situation that therapy can't help with is that my kids are not grateful. So how are you going to fix that?
right? So my problem is I just need it to be fixed, and no talking is going to do that. That's not true, because there's a relationship between you and your kids, just like you and your spouse, or you and anybody else that you're probably talking about as a fixed problem. So if we were able to process what's going through your head about how you should be a parent, how you should talk about things, how you should approach certain situations, why you get angry at certain things, why you are actually disappointed, but instead it comes out as anger or something like that. All of those things matter. Anything that you actually do have a part of, which is all things of your life, you can look at it differently. You can accept things differently or better. You can build bigger support systems, but you have to be able to be a good human and have good human interactions with other people to have a good support system. You don't just get a support system. If you're not a great person to people, people aren't going to be there for you.
Clocking.
So you have to learn how to relate to people. I'm wondering if maybe he might have a problem with that. So the other thing that he says here, which I definitely have to clarify, is that he says he has this on authority because he's been to multiple therapists, and he said that they don't give the kind of advice designed with men in mind. That makes no sense, because one, we are not giving advice. You don't come to a therapist because they are a very wise person that is going to tell you how to live your life because they understand that from experience. No, everyone's life is messy, first of all. Second of all, we do this because we have been trained for many, many years about how to work with certain issues and why people think the way they do. And if you want to call it advice, if we're telling you, why don't you work on this kind of way of relating to someone in your relationship, and it doesn't work, or you don't want to do it because you think that's woman advice or something, I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. And I do want to say that my caseload is at least 50% men, and it pretty much always has been. And I've never had anyone say that there should be another kind of therapy that helps with men or something. Yes, there's therapy specifically to help with certain issues. So there's certainly therapists that specialize in in men's issues like fatherhood and all of the different pressures of being a man in today's society and all kinds of stuff. So the men that I see, they have every different issue. It's not like you just go for one thing. You could go to therapy just because your life isn't working the way you want it to, or you think it could be better. Then go to therapy and figure it out. So, okay. Oh, question. Yes, what is it?
There's a general sort of sense of men being like more resistant to seeking mental health treatment than women. So what's that about?
Why are they like that? Well, if you think about when we were younger, right? If you were raised as a girl, then you probably hung out with your friends by what? Hanging out and doing what? Talking? A lot of times, not always. Now these are, I'm not trying to stereotype, and this is research based, that girls spend time talking, right? That may be an activity they do. Boys spend time on an activity. So like if boys hang out, they're playing a game or they're doing something or whatever. If girls hang out, it'd be normal to just hang out and talk. So there's just a difference even in how we're socialized. You know, the whole idea that it's weak to show emotion and that emotion or sensitivity, that those are like girl traits that aren't great, that's not true at all. These are important things for all humans to relate to all other humans. But unfortunately, in some societies, they want to put those types of traits into like, that's feminine, and men are more, you know, they don't talk about their feelings, they push them down, which we used to say at one place I worked, pay me now or pay me later. And it's important because it was basically like, if you don't deal with this now, it's gonna come up later. And here's the thing, when it comes up, it doesn't come up as that issue. It comes up as something else. It comes up as substance use. It comes up as chronic fighting with people. It comes up as aggression. It comes up as freaking out, rage, explosions. That's how it comes out. You're pushing that issue down so that when it comes up, it does all this other unproductive stuff and the issue still never gets addressed. And anger and rage, those are emotions. It's interesting that they can be okay with that emotion, but if somebody's crying, that's weakness. Why isn't screaming at somebody weakness? It doesn't make any sense to me. So yes, so there is this historically that men don't talk about their emotions as much. I think that now, and even with therapy becoming better understood and more accessible, hopefully, you know, I think that men, they definitely are using therapy more. But it's interesting to hear the messages that they have received over time about talking about their emotions. Most men aren't comfortable right away with sitting here and talking about their emotions, how they feel about things. And sometimes men will be more kind of just talking to me about what happened and not how they feel. And so I have to kind of, you know, get them to tell me what's under that and maybe talk about how they feel about something and give them emotional vocabularies that they just didn't have before. And so, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, if anyone out there has any questions, please let us know. We would be happy to talk about those in a future video. So
Thanks for watching.
thanks for watching.
Stay tuned for the next one.
Stay tuned for the next one. We've been doing this as a lot of fun. So, or no, that made no sense. Stay tuned for, okay, bye.